Well, boys and girls, I think we have officially reached the point where KonoSuba might just get cancelled. There's going to be a group of people who are going to collectively say, you know, I need some bleach. Seeing dust in that clothing, in that lingerie is too much. And to those people, I say they are weak and pathetic. And you should appreciate what is the true fan service of this show. And if they make a figure, you best go pre-order it of every pose we saw that man in. There's gonna be a group of people, I'm sure, there'll be like a group of 100 Twitter moms who will act like the joke of nothing happened here as Dust got. Listen, one of his holes was used. There's no other way to put it, because that man was severely convinced he did that willingly. And the fact that such a bait and switch. This was some South Park level comedy. And in honesty, like, KonoSuba has reminded me of South Park before, which is my favorite show. I just love it. I think it's hilarious. It's offensive in all the right ways because it makes fun of everyone. But this has to be the most South Park level joke. And, you know, if you use cesspools like Twitter, I'm sure there's going to be a group of 100 people who will make it into a bigger thing than it needs to be. But, there's also going to be a third group of people who will just say, you know what? They didn't show us the scene. Cosma cockblocked himself, and for that we need to cancel this show. And honestly, I probably agree with that one. But in all honesty, nothing's ever actually getting canceled. You know, it's mostly a meme at this point. But what a freaking episode. This was the type of episode of KonoSuba that the longer it went on, the more I'm shocked that all of this abomination happened in one singular episode. Without a doubt in my mind, this is the greatest episode of KonoSuba. No cap, no competition, nothing competes with it. Everything they did with Dust alone probably cemented it as such, but then everything that happened with Darkness after, while still simultaneously building the actual wholesomeness of these friends refusing to leave friends behind. I don't know how KonoSuba Season 3 does it, but I honestly suspect that it will take a bit for the author to have novels after this current one and the previous one we adapted that will be able to be surpassed. So I imagine it might take a couple more KonoSuba seasons for me to be like, Season 3 is getting top, because that was just a gem. Full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and good thought to this or any of these episodes. You know it's going to be over there exclusively. So, the Dust stuff. This is a man who I thought was dead. And as Kazuma said, this is a guy who ran face first into a Hydra. What in the hell is he scared of? I'm thinking, okay, there must be a serious threat. And he's like, my woman has a boyfriend. And I'm like, I thought the out-of-pocketness was going to be the stalker joke. Because the longer he talked, the more of a stalker he felt. Like, he was straight up stalker level. There's no, actually, he was he was a stalker. And even when we were listening in through the walls, I'm thinking to myself, wait a gosh darn moment. What is she, like, it's sounding like she's doing stuff against her will for some reason. And I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be bad and spicy. We go into the room, and then there's this lingerie, and we know there's these pictures, and I'm like, okay, she's doing photo shoots, but why? There's no kink shame in here. At the end of the day, he enjoyed the dress up, and he enjoyed the photos. Props to him. Unfortunately, not props to him is that that's as far as he wanted to go, because as they lose track of time, he comes in, and we learn the shocking truth that this woman was trying to protect him, because this noble has a preference on the lad side, and his current obsession was Dust. And the longer it went on, and the cherry on top, that I'm glad I worship this goddess, and of course it's freaking Aqua, because do you think Eris would have followers like this? Absolutely not. It would be Aqua. It just goes quiet. Either he passed out from insertion, or he legitimately died from insertion. And the fact that they just say, we saw nothing here. Single greatest moment I've seen in this show. Holy And you just think, there's no way they keep the comedy up. Especially because we have emotion, right? Because Darkness has been ripped away. She's being forced into a marriage to pay off the debt to this fat bastard. There's no way they keep the comedy going when they're clearly going to shift to more serious. And no, they keep the comedy going. My boy getting party trick magic, which allows him to mimic voices, and her just hearing all of these confessions about, and they're so simple too, and the fact that this is the most sexual episode of this show, no joke. When the guards try to barge in and he starts saying like, what do you think a lady's doing at this hour playing with herself? Use your heads. One guy's grabbing his crotch and running off to the bathroom, and the longer it goes on, the worse it gets, and somehow they manage to actually make it sweet. And if Cosmo wanted Darkness as his love interest, he would have had it. Even if he didn't commit to anything this episode, like, he would be able to secure that W. The only reason he does it is because Cosmo doesn't want Darkness, and that's probably his greatest sin, if we're being honest. But just the longer it went on, the fact that we can have an emotional conversation with the dad talking about how there's no way to save him, look after my daughter, and it just ends with him trying to jump out a window. It was a Looney Tunes directing choice of how he falls off and she just laughs her ass off. What in the hell? Now, I don't know if we have enough money to pay off her debt. If we do, that is probably the direction I imagine they'd go. Like, during the wedding, does anyone have any, like, last thoughts, concerns? He barges in with a bag of gold saying, I'm paying off the debts, bitch. Maybe something like that. And if that happens, they probably will have no money, which honestly is nothing new for the gang, so I mean, we'll just go on more adventures. But the fact remains that we go from goodbye best girl to are we getting canceled the episode? And I personally wouldn't have it a single different way, KonoSuba. I doubt they're topping the level of WTF with the remaining episodes for this season. But I've said it before, and I'ma say it again. The best KonoSuba has ever been. Between the movie and the 2 light novels that this season is adapting, this author might just be the funniest person in the anime, light novel, manga world. Combine them all. Like, that is brilliant. But, that's all from me. Let me know what you thought, and, what was your single favorite joke? I have a feeling a lot of that, we saw nothing is gonna be many's, but, let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today, we got Anno 1986, Askar, Price Discovery J, Bat, Floxer, and Jabbery Barnes. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and they all have a good one.